Hi, thank you so much for watching. I am kind of in two minds about posting this because this brand is like luxury makeup. But I thought I would because actually when I was trying to decide what to get, I looked at a lot of reviews online and I decided also not to do a first impressions because it's more helpful for me, especially when it's a really pricey product, like it's a bit of an investment, to see how people have got on with it. So you might like something when you first put it on, but then when you've worn it a few times, you might notice that actually the formula isn't for you, or you wear it for a few hours even and you find that, you know, something's not quite sitting right. So I thought I would put these products through their paces and then bring you this review today. So this was before lockdown, before I became unemployed. If you don't know already, I am a professional makeup artist, so not at work right now, I'm sitting at home bored. It's the perfect time to test some new makeup, and I bought all this stuff probably about 2-ish months ago. So I've had the chance to use it and test it out a little bit, but only on myself, not on clients. So Pat McGrath, as you probably know, is famous for really good products, we'll find out, very bougie packaging, can confirm, and also a very high price point. So I bought one thing from the brand last year. I bought a lipstick. I saw it in person when I was in London with a friend and I bought a lipstick. I've absolutely loved it. I'm wearing it right now, so you can see me apply that later in the video. But further than that, I've only ever kind of tested out little testers and things. So I hadn't really bought anything from the brand before. I've been wanting to buy some stuff for a while. I've seen so many good reviews online, and then right before lockdown I noticed they were doing 25% off if you spent a certain amount of money, which I thought I can easily do. There's a few things that I want. So the 25% off really sealed the deal for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still expensive, but that kind of brought it down to like your sort of Chanel, Dior, like high-end makeup price point, whereas this for me was sitting just above that. So it's nice actually to see a luxury brand that is artist-led. I know there's Charlotte Tilbury, also very pricey, but it's really nice to see a makeup brand that is high-end. Like high-end makeup is my guilty pleasure. I've always loved it. Even when I was really young, I'd save up and I'd get stuff with like money from my first ever jobs and like part-time jobs that I had when I was in school and stuff. So I do love a bit of high-end makeup, but it's actually really nice to see that being led by a makeup artist. It makes me think that the products are gonna be really good and function really well for myself, but also for my professional makeup kit too. I bought a few things. We should get stuck into the review, I guess. I'm wearing all of them so you can see me apply them, but like I said, this isn't a first impressions video. I have been wearing these for a few weeks now. Haven't been wearing much makeup, but when I have been wearing makeup, I've been testing these out and putting them through their paces. So starting off with the foundation, I kept the packaging for some of this stuff. I'm sure you've all seen it before. The plastic pouches full of sequins I had to get rid of because the cats were going crazy for them. And the last thing I want is a trip to the vets with 3 cats full of sequins. But I kept the packaging for some of it, and I love to keep my new makeup in the boxes. I don't know if anyone else does this or if it's just me being weird, but especially if it's really nice packaging. So the packaging is gorgeous. And the foundation itself is so pretty as well. So nice with the black and gold. I have the colour Light 3, and I just had to guess because I ordered this online. And I think it was a pretty good guess actually. It's quite yellow on me, but I can just about pull it off. I'll show you the texture as well. The texture is kind of interesting. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but it's very fluid. So you can see it kind of starting to run down my hand. It's not quite the kind of watery texture of something like MAC Face and Body foundation, but it is very kind of thin, which I don't mind. And like I said, I have been trying these products out previous to this video. This is not a first impressions. So yeah, I don't mind it. I do prefer a thicker foundation. You can see that my skin is not the best. I do get quite a lot of blemishes and quite a lot of texture as well, which is quite annoying. I get lots of little kind of bumps on my skin, and I also get some dry patches sometimes, although that's not so bad at the moment. So yeah, I usually go for a kind of thicker texture because it's more smoothing. But you can see that this is covering really nicely. The Too Faced Born This Way, I tend to layer like this just to get a bit more coverage. So I would kind of compare it to that actually. It gives you a bit of glow, a good amount of coverage, and it is buildable. I would say that you could build this to like a higher medium coverage. For me, this isn't a full coverage foundation, but to a lot of people that wear like a lighter base, this will be quite full coverage. It does all depend on your preferences with makeup and how you look at things. So for me, comparing this to say the Kat Von D foundation, the Huda Beauty foundation, that to me is full coverage. Like, it's thick, it pretty much will cover everything with 1 pump, 2 pumps of foundation, and you don't need to build it up. Whereas this, I feel like to get, you know, to get a good coverage on my skin, I do need to build it up a little bit. So that is around 3 pumps of the foundation. You can see it does give a very skin-like effect, and the fact that you can still see blemishes and things on the skin does make it look more like real skin. If you see what I mean. If your skin is so perfect, it's kind of obvious that you're wearing makeup. But I definitely want some concealer with this, and I did buy the Pat McGrath concealer. Again, kept it in the box because look how gorgeous that is. That packaging is just so up my street. And the concealer, the packaging for the concealer is also lovely. I think, let me just get the foundation. The foundation and concealer together looks so nice. That would look so nice sat out on your dressing table. And this feels very expensive. So this part is glass, and it feels quite weighty and quite heavy. And then I really like the applicator as well. So it's this little kind of doe foot applicator, but it picks up quite a lot of product. I can't stand it when you get this kind of packaging and the wand comes out and there's just nothing on there. There's a few concealers that I really like, but would like so much more if the packaging was better. But this for me is perfect. So you can see as well that the concealer, much like the foundation, has got quite a yellowy undertone. I mean, look at that. I know that isn't blended out, but look at the difference. It's amazing. I absolutely love this. I think I like this more than the foundation, to be honest. The foundation, I think I will really enjoy using it, and I definitely think I will use it and use it up. But I think the concealer I would repurchase when it runs out. I think that's just so nice. It gives a kind of blurring effect on the skin as well. So I don't know what ingredients it contains that does that. But you can see it's really giving me like a very photo ready finish. I'm definitely going to be buying some of these for my professional makeup kit because this photographs so nicely. It comes out so well on camera, which is really important for the work that I do with clients. So that's my base, you know, in terms of foundation and concealer done. I would say that when I wear the concealer with the foundation, I like the foundation more. I think the combination of the two products is perfect. I've got a really nice glow to my skin, but being that I do have oily patches, I don't feel like this is too glowy. I definitely will powder my skin. I always do. I find that to get my makeup to last, that's something I have to do. But if you had a drier skin type, I think this would probably actually last really well. The concealer is very thick, it's a very smooth consistency, it has a smoothing effect on the skin. I think that, you know, it's not so glowy that if you had a drier skin type, even a normal skin type, that your base would be moving around. I think you'd probably be fine. I did purchase the concealer in a kit with this, the Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. Now this I was a bit underwhelmed by in terms of the packaging, so I don't know if you'll be able to see particularly on camera, but feeling the two products, this feels like it is a high-end product. This is very, like, I'm gonna say it feels very cheap. I like the look of the compact. It just says Pat McGrath Labs on the front, and it has the gold writing on the back as well. But it feels very like fragile and kind of like cheap plasticky sort of feel. And then inside the compact is the world's tiniest mirror. Like, if I took this out and about in my handbag, I can see one eye at a time, I guess, or like you have to move it around your face to see yourself. So I think they should just have probably not bothered with a mirror. The powder itself is lovely. It's very, very, very finely milled. So it feels very, very soft, and you can see that my hand hasn't picked up too much product. So you're definitely not going to end up accidentally caking yourself with powder and getting that real powdery look, which is what a lot of people are scared of when using powders. I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference really. You can see that that's kind of mattified my under eye area a little bit. It does still leave you with a little bit of luminosity, so it's not a powder that's going to completely flatten your skin and kind of take all the glow away, but it definitely does have a mattifying element to it. So yeah, I do really like it. I really, really like it. But I would say for me, it's not quite worth the money. Given how impressed I am with the concealer and the fact that this came in a little kit, I think I'd rather have just got the concealer on its own, which you can do. You can buy everything separately, but there was a discount offered for buying a little kit with both. Yeah, I feel like I will use this and I will enjoy using it. But for me, it's not as special as the concealer is. The concealer I would repurchase for definite. So I've just finished off my base and then popped some brows on as well. You'll have to excuse the state of my brows. I can't do anything with them at the moment. It's driving me insane. Because we're still under lockdown here in the UK, I can't go and get professional help. So just excuse how scruffy they are. I have 3 more products to show you. The first one, I got one of the lip liners. So I have one other Pat McGrath product, which I bought when I was in London with a friend a little while back. We saw it for the first time in Selfridges and were, yeah, so impressed by things, and I was like, right, you can have one, pick one. So I got a lipstick, but I really regretted not getting a lip liner to go with it. The lipstick is fantastic. I actually will pop that on with this. But yeah, this lip liner is just amazing. Gorgeous packaging, and you also get a little sharpener in here as well, which is really nice. I thought I couldn't get it out, but so you get a little sharpener, and the lip pencils are just amazing. It's that kind of waxy, creamy formula. Like, you can see how pigmented that is. It looks really dark on camera, but it's not that dark in real life. So it's that kind of, it kind of reminds me of the formula of the Charlotte Tilbury lip pencils. If anyone likes those, you'll love this. It's like a creamier, more pigmented version, and the shade I have is Supernatural. So the lipstick, I feel like might be limited edition. It's the Blitztrance lipstick, and the colour is 136 Skinsane, I think. It's just a gorgeous nude colour, beautiful packaging once again. So you can see the lipstick is kind of a nude, but not a pale nude on my skin tone. And I love the glossy finish. It is that kind of satin finish, which I really love for lipstick. It's shiny, but it's not sticky, it's not too shiny. And yeah, gorgeous packaging, beautiful lipstick, lovely formula. I've had this about a year and I'll be very sad when that runs out. The last 2 Pat McGrath items that I have to show you are both eyeshadow palettes. So I'd seen the big Mothership palettes, which I think are just over 100 quid. And I'd seen these, which have 6 shades and they're 50. But I didn't realise the brand, as well as doing single shadows, also does these mini palettes. So you get 5 shades in there. Yep, counted that right. And I think this was 30. Obviously I had 25% off everything. And I just think that makes so much sense, especially for makeup artists, because you might not necessarily want a massive eyeshadow palette in your kit. Everything I put in my suitcase to take to work with me has to be worth dragging around the country. So these little mini palettes I think are so good for my kit. I did want to put this in my kit as well. I'm very, very loyal to Makeup Geek shadows for my professional makeup kit. They are just so, so good. I've got this massive palette that I made myself, which is just kind of my dream eyeshadow palette. I've put all really useful colours in there, all different undertones, different finishes. But Makeup Geek have recently stopped selling in the UK. They're not stocked on any UK sites anymore, which just makes it more difficult for me to get hold of. And as those shadows are running out, I'm using it as an excuse to try some new brands, try some new things in case I find anything that I love as much. So I was really excited for these, and I remember when I was shopping in London last year, I think it must have been about this time last year actually, with one of my friends, we both loved the eyeshadow palettes so much. I've been wanting one since then, so I decided to finally take the plunge. But this I think is just particularly good for a professional makeup kit. It is kind of cheap and the packaging doesn't fit with the rest of the brand, but I don't think that matters. I think this is for people that really love the eyeshadows but don't want to part with £50, over £100, don't want to buy single shadows. This is perfect. And for my kit as well, I don't need fancy packaging. I don't need something that looks like this. I need something that functions really well and that applies beautifully, and these shadows definitely do. So you can see the difference in size. These are pretty small, but I wouldn't say that's kind of disappointing. I think that's, for an eyeshadow, that's absolutely fine. You don't need massive, huge eyeshadows. You're only using a little bit at a time. And then this is what the normal size palette looks like. So you can see there's quite a difference, but I don't feel, you know, that this is a bad idea. I think this is a great idea for a luxury brand. I think more of them should do that. It gives you a chance to try it without committing to spending over £100 on an eyeshadow palette. So I'll use a mixture. So I should have said the names of the palettes as well. This one is called Bronze Ambition, and then this one is called Sublime. I'll link everything in the description box anyway. I'm gonna take, I think this is the only matte shadow in the palette actually, this lovely kind of chocolate brown colour here, and I'm gonna put that all over. I've already primed my eyes just using the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer. If you want, if it's helpful, I can link everything I've used on my face today in the description box as well, not just the Pat McGrath stuff, so let me know if you'd like me to do that. Cat's going absolutely crazy in the background. If I shut the door though, they just sit out there and scream and all you can hear in the background of my videos is these like unhappy cat screams. It's just, there's no winning. This shade is just my perfect kind of warm brown shade for my skin tone. I just absolutely love it. I have kind of greenish eyes, they're kind of like a greeny blue, and I feel like for my skin tone, for my eye colour, this shade just works so well. So all I've used so far is that matte brown shadow. I've really kind of buffed it out into a slightly winged out shape on my upper eyelids, and then I've put some underneath my eyes as well. I think I'm going to go in and just highlight my inner corners. There's a really beautiful gold shade in here that I am dying to use. It's this one just here. And I'd love to have a really bright inner corner on the eyes. I might use it to highlight under my brows as well. Let's give it a go. Something I'd love to do on clients as well actually. Just that really bright inner corner just makes your eyes really pop. Even if you don't wear any other shadow, try using a kind of brightening shade just under your brow, on your brow bone, and on the inner corners of your eyes. It makes all the difference. Very low effort, but it looks amazing. I'm gonna add a bit of highlight to the center of my eyelids as well. I'm gonna use this gold shade, which actually I haven't used very much yet, but it looks so pretty. It's kind of like a sort of, it's a natural gold. It's not a bright yellow gold. I really love that kind of a color palette. Those eyeshadows blend amazingly. If you were a total beginner to eyeshadow, that is the kind of eyeshadow you should be working with. I know if you're not really into doing your eyes, doing eye makeup, spending 50 quid on an eyeshadow palette doesn't seem logical or reasonable, but these take a lot of the work out of it. Like, I've barely had to blend those out at all. I've put in minimal effort to achieve a nicely blended eyeshadow. And they're very pigmented. You just have to just lightly touch your brush into the shadows to pick up some colour. I just think those are absolutely amazing and totally worth the money, and I hate saying that about such an expensive product. And And there's eyeshadows from other brands that are much better value for money that I also really love. I love Urban Decay. I think for less than 40 quid or around the £40 mark, you get a huge array of colours in one of their like, bigger eyeshadow palettes. I love Makeup Geek, as I said before, very affordable. You can build your own palette and have exactly the range of colours that you like. But this is, it is good. I do hate saying that about such a like a luxury product, but it is really, really, really good. So I haven't noticed any difference in quality between the what's it called, the Mothership palette and this little mini palette, but I will pop some of this on just to show you. I'm going to use a bit of this shade here, it's dark brown, just to kind of deepen the colour just on the outer corners of my eyes. You can see what I mean. I use the lightest touch just to pick up a bit of product, and the pigment is just unbelievable. These are so good. I'm going to take that just lightly underneath my eye on the outer corner as well. Really am so impressed with these palettes. They are such a good find, and for someone as well that is such a makeup hoarder, like I've been collecting makeup since I was about 14, to be this impressed by something is quite rare. Like there's loads of stuff that I like, and I love to try out new stuff. Like brands are always launching new products now, it's fantastic. So different to when I first started out in makeup about 7 or 8 years ago. But it takes a lot to really impress me. There's loads of makeup that I love, but I am pretty blown away by these eyeshadows. I think they are very good. So my final thoughts, as a brand, I mostly loved everything. It is very expensive, but I do feel like the quality is there, and you can definitely tell that it's an artist-led brand. The products perform really well. They work really nicely together as well, so you can definitely tell that they're designed to be used as one line, which makes sense because Pat's background is obviously in fashion. So, you know, you will mostly in fashion work with one brand, say for a runway show or for a shoot or something like that. Your kit will probably be provided by the same brand. So you can tell that everything's been really sensibly designed in terms of its functionality. In terms of the packaging, I love it. Even the packaging for the cheaper eyeshadow palette I think is really good. For me, it's really practical. This would be so easy to clean down in between clients, which is really important if this is going in my kit, which I think it will because I love it. So I love it. And then also the luxury packaging is just so nice. Feels lovely. The only product that sort of let the side down was that under eye powder, and that is the only one which I wouldn't necessarily recommend. So the foundation, if you love a medium coverage, if you're normally like a tinted moisturiser sort of a person and you want a foundation to wear on a night out, that would be amazing. It photographs beautifully, gives you really good coverage, and it works so well with the concealer. The concealer is my favourite product out of the whole lot. Maybe the lip liner pencil. The lip liner pencil and the concealer are my two faves. And then the eyeshadow palettes I loved, just really loved. The only reason that the eyeshadow palette wouldn't be my favourite from the whole range that I've tested is because there are a lot of eyeshadow brands that I love, and that is very expensive for a palette. I would love to see maybe different formulations in the foundation. Like I said, I love this one. I actually am quite happy with the colour. Like I've worn this a few times now and I've always thought, oh, it's a little bit yellowy, but maybe that was just because I had some fake tan that was wearing off or something. Now that I'm seeing it today, I'm actually really pleased. But the colour selection looked brilliant. The formula is lovely, but I would love to see maybe some different formulations. That would be really exciting. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more from my channel. Bye!